Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. We all know that a person needs his fair amount of sleep, and only if he has a comfortable hours of sleep, then the next day, the next couple hours, he has enough energy to work. And typically, the man, the woman sleeps nighttime, and the day is work time. And some people take a nap during the day, especially the elderly. And the question becomes how it's negeh to halacha in Choshen Mishpat, Simen Kuf Nun Vav Seif Beis. There is a halacha about noise. Chanus shebechotzer. If there is a apartment building, if there is a complex of apartments, and somebody opens a store in that chotzer, in that courtyard, that will create a problem because there's going to be, it creates traffic, there's going to be noise, and we'll soon see what the different discussions are. So the halacha says, Yecholim hashchenim limchis b'yadei, the neighbors could protest and say, V'loi maloi, and tell him, Ein ani yecholim lishon, we can't sleep, mikoil hanechnasim v'hayotzim, because you have people coming and going. So therefore, close down your business or whatever. Ela oisa malachte b'chanusai, he has to do his job in the store, but he can't invite the people to come in because of the noise. Now, as mentioned before, most of the people sleep at night. If most of you sleep, and that's when you get well rested at night, the guy's not doing his business anyways. Why are they protesting him not allowing to do work if nighttime he's not there anyways? So from here it seems to apply that since there are some people that sleep during the day and they want to have an hour nap, this traffic coming and going will interrupt their nap during the day. And for that, they have rights to tell him to change his way of work because of the rash that he is making. There is an interesting shaila that's discussed there in the Pischei Tshuva, Sivkot Nalef, where he brings from the Chassam Sofer this discussion. Does it only apply for the nighttime? But the guy's not doing business then. So why can't he do whatever he wants during the day? And the Chassam Sofer insists that because some people sleep during the day too, you have to take that in consideration. Now, this topic, taking neighbors' feelings in consideration, is a very, very relevant topic because in Baruch Hashem, in a neighborhood of Yidden, and family grows, you bought a house that's 3-bedroom, and with time you have to do construction. You're making a 4th bedroom, a 5th bedroom. You're fixing a kitchen, fixing this. What's about your neighbor? Your neighbor next door, he's going to hear clapping and trucks coming and delivering. How about what the Mechaber just said, which is based on the Gemara in Baba Basra, that the neighbor next door might be an elderly, or if he's not an elderly, he's somebody that likes to take a nap. Does he have right to protest and say, "Excuse me, you're giving me a very hard time doing what my regular routine is"? Now, typically we know that there is a rule that says Hakol cholim heim eitzel shina, that a person halachically for sleep he's considered a sick man. In other words, if he doesn't get a sleep, it's almost rated as the same halacha how you treat a sick man. And for sick men or for sick people, we are very cautious. We're very careful to help them, and we make sure they get their needs. So sleep should be in the same category. Would a person who has to do construction to his house, could the neighbor, now we see that even during the day, if it's a chanus, if it's nechnasim v'yotzim, the neighbors could stop the chanus and tell him you got to do it in a different way. Could a neighbor do the same thing in a way of construction of the next door neighbor's expansion to the house? So there are 2 points. First, you have to understand why a neighbor even has rights to protest. The answer is, the right to protest is, as the Ketzos HaShulchan says, is because if you don't give me my space that I could sleep or do whatever I have to do in my house, what's really happening is you are damaging me. How? Because I have a property that a person is meant to go rest, sleep, eat, have pleasure in his house. That's what the person buys a home for. If you don't give me my space to do what a normal person is able to do in a home, in reality, is what your noise making is damaging, is minimizing my usage of my home. That's a form of a damage. That's the reason that you can even protest. Now, when a person has a neighbor and it's creating some chaotic noise that's minimizing his usage of his home, what is considered chaotic noise? So there is a famous Chazon Ish, the Chazon Ish in Baba Basra, Siman Yud Gimel, where he establishes a rule. I understand that today's days this becomes a source for many din Torahs. And he says that it is common practice that when a person buys a home, especially if it's in a neighborhood where families are larger families, that if you buy a smaller home, with God's help, in a couple of years, you'll put together the money and you're going to expand. You're going to do construction. Doing a construction for a home is not something that's unexpected. Like to put a business of, as the Chassam Sofer mentions in the Pischei Tshuva over there, to put a business of wine and people buy stores in a residential area, that's something that you didn't think. And that would be considered a damage. But for neighbors to expand their homes, that's something which is given. That's something when you move into a neighborhood, or even if you're there first, every person knows that the neighbor nearby is part of his buying the house, his plan to expand. So it won't be considered a damage for any shachan to be able to be moicha.